And I bet you love Beethoven just as much as I do, and you probably know plenty about him, so we don't need to do any kind of a history lesson about him. His name has been coming up a lot lately, though, because he lived most of his life in the isolation of deafness, as we, well know. And people have been drawing a parallel between his life of isolation and the way people are living right now as a result of coronavirus. But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about the 250th year. And this is a big deal for musicians around the world. A lot of people had great plans for big celebrations, playing, complete works and complete sets of pieces like all of the piano sonatas or all of the string quartets. We're only going to play one piece. We're going to play half of it this week. We're going to play movements 1 and 2. And we're going to play movements 3 and 4 for you next week. But first we need to meet our partners for this week. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, let's get started. And here's the group for this week. Hey, Laura, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, welcome back. So everybody remembers Laura from last week, and Laura's going to be joining us. We're going to be sharing first violin part in the piece that we're going to play for you. So I'm going to play first on first and third movement, right? And you're going to play first on second and fourth.
That's right.
Now, this is a trio, so we have a third person that we have to introduce. So we got me, we got you, and we need a violist. And let's see, here we go. And there she is. Hi, Eliza. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Hi, Eliza.
Hi.
So this is Eliza Jeffords, our violist, and you recognize her from the Mid-Texas concerts, I'm sure. Hey, Eliza, we found out last week what Laura's been doing during the shutdown, the lock-in. What have you been doing?
Sure. Well, I've been trying to finish up the semester at Texas Lutheran, doing online teaching for the orchestra, my string methods class, and all my viola students, and juggling that with having the kids at home. So it's been very busy.
Excellent. In case the folks that are, tuning into these videos don't know, what's your fancy title at TLU?
I'm the director of strings. So that just means orchestra and different classes, and I teach viola.
And are you Dr. Jeffords to everyone there?
I'm Dr. Jeffords, yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So, and what have you been doing besides that to pass the time? You said you got the kids.
Yeah.
How's that going?
A lot of free time to pass right now. But when I'm not trying to teach my classes, I mostly hang out with my 4-year-old Oliver, and we jump on the trampoline, and we've been building a lot of Lego and train sets, car tracks. It's very exciting. We're doing a lot of engineering around here.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Laura, are you up to anything new?
Pretty much a continuation of last week's activities, except now this week I got my first tomato out of the garden and shared my second tomato with the squirrel. So
that's very generous of you.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my choice.
All right. Well, speaking of sharing, it's time to share some beautiful music with the folks out there in internet land. And so today we're going to play the first and second movement of Beethoven's Opus 87. This was originally composed for 2 oboes and English horn. And it's perfectly lovely in its original form, but it also took another form for 2 violins and viola. So we're going to perform the first half of that for you this week. And then next week, we're going to be back with the third and the fourth movements. So, ladies, you ready to get to it?
Ready.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed the first two movements of Beethoven Opus 87. So this is the part of our program where we do our recommendations, things that we've enjoyed recently that we think maybe you might enjoy too. So hey, Eliza, what have you been enjoying lately? You got a recommendation for us?
Yeah, well, in sticking with the Beethoven theme, have been listening to my favorite Beethoven piano concerto, and I recommend that you look up Richard Good. He's a pianist that you may not have listened to before, but his playing is really sensitive, and he really brings out all the emotion that's possible in Beethoven, particularly. So I really enjoyed listening to that, and also getting outside as much as possible.
Excellent. Doesn't he also do like period informed performances, right? Isn't he kind of like one of those guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's very authentic. Yeah,
Right.
excellent. Laura, what are you recommending this week?
I have another book, and it's garden themed. Surprise, surprise. It's called Texas Fruit and Vegetable Gardening. And what I really like about this book is it's specific for our locale. And I'm originally from New York, and gardening there is a whole other game. And so when I first tried to start growing things here in Texas, I failed miserably because it's just totally different. And so this was really helpful in getting me back on track. And I feel like now's the time of season in our gardens where stuff starts to go wrong. You get some pests, your tomatoes aren't producing, and there's always like a little helpful hint somewhere tucked in these pages. Blurbs are short, it's an easy read, nice handy manual to have if you're an experienced gardener, or if you're looking to get into that now that you may have some more free time on your hands.
Fantastic. Yeah, lots of people are doing victory gardens and stuff.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
one myself. My cucumbers are sad though. Okay, so ladies, thanks for joining me this week. And I'm looking forward to having you back again next week. And we'll finish off that Beethoven and do some more recommendations. And so now we need to go practice the third and fourth movements. All right? Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And by the way, before we go, I would be remiss if I didn't make my plug. Don't forget to subscribe and support the Mid-Texas Symphony. And that way we can make sure that when this thing is over, we can hear more of him and all of his friends live on stage with all of the members of the Mid-Texas Symphony. So, things are starting to reopen, but it's a slow rollout, and we're still not out of the woods. So please be safe, please be careful, and please stay healthy. And we'll see you next week for part 2, movements 3 and 4. All right? Have a good week. Bye-bye.